Members of the public and staff, welcome to the June Council meeting. Vicky, are we broadcasting, Vicky? Yep, cool. And good afternoon to our listeners out there on webcam around the world. Nice to have you on board this afternoon. Councillor Truman, could I please ask for a blessing karakia this afternoon? Thank you.
Te atua kaharawa ki a tata mai koe ki a mātou I tēnei rā, manakitia a mātou mahi katoa, I rongo I tingoa, āmene.
Thank you. Thank you. Councillor Truman. Apologies we have from Councillor Cousins. Any other? Otherwise everyone's here. Could I have a mover please? Thank you, Councillor Parkin. Seconded by Councillor Stewart. For Councillor Cousins' absence, he's on international duty. So all those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Those against? Carried. Thank you. Okay, go to the confirmation of the council minutes of the 9th of May, and we'll do both sets of minutes if you like, 9th of May and the 26th of 9th. Is that not right then?
26th of May.
26th of May, 9th of June.
9th of the 5th I've got here. 5th month is May, is it? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So 9th of May and the 26th of May.
26th of June, 9th of June.
26th of May, 9th of June. That's 26th of June, yeah.
26th of May, 9th of June. That's wrong.
Oh, that's wrong. Okay. Okay, so, all right, 26th of May, 9th of June. Any points of clarification, typos, or any matters arising for those minutes? Councillor Krasowski.
Yeah, just a couple if I may. The first one on page 1, if I have my name included, please.
On page, sorry?
On the very first page.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure I was here that day.
Yeah, very sorry about that, Councillor Krasowski.
And number 2 on 1/13, down at the very bottom of the page, page 74, 216 to year 217. Do we address this now or later where it hasn't actually been implemented? That's number 1. And number 2 is one of the points that are raised also has not been included in the minutes. And that was which related to page 182 of the draft on the 3rd bullet point under conclusions, where I asked a question as whether or not the Waikato Regional Council, or not, whether we should be the only people that should be held accountable for the total cost of the implementation.
Okay, so what was the first query, sorry?
Well, the first query was that page 74 which are the minutes that are stated, are not actually implemented in the final document.
Added in. So what do you refer? 1 bar what?
Okay, the last bullet point.
1 bar 13.
1 bar 13. Yep.
You might go to answer that.
Yep. The last bullet point. Subject to minor changes.
So
yep.
Page 74, in theory we should have added with Waikato Regional Council in the long-term plan document.
Okay, the councillor's happy, we can change it.
And
again, we just need to check with Ariel.
He's got a hand up. Sorry, Ariel? Sorry?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to bring that up with you because we had a discussion about that
okay. How does that place us from a procedural point of view if we had agreed to put it into the document here, but it's not in the document now?
From a procedural perspective, it doesn't matter so long as we all agree with what the answer is, that why Nick didn't include it. So we can then just re-minute it as a matter matters arising. So.
Okay.
And do you want to deal with that now or later?
Yep. Should we deal with it now as a matter?
Can do. Yep. Yep. Come forward, please, Sarah. I'll tidy it up now.
73 and here.
So we go to the long-term plan, page 73.
So just in reference to that particular question, we had a discussion, myself and Nick, about whether or not to include that reference to the Waikato Regional Council. And there's several reasons why we decided at this stage that we wouldn't. The first is that we haven't had any discussions with them about that particular document because it's very unknown yet who or how people will be involved in that particular document. So we didn't want to include the Waikato Regional Council because they may or may not, and there may be others who should also be included as well. So it was felt much more prudent to just include it as it was to start with.
So,
know for a fact that Regional Waikato are going to have 2 representatives on that board.
We do.
As are we. So I don't quite follow that logic and rationale. I'm sorry.
The discussion that I had with Nick was around, we didn't know who all the parties were going to be, so we didn't feel it was the right approach to just put one when there may be others as well. It wasn't whether or not that they would or wouldn't.
I think maybe because I was involved in the negotiations of that, maybe that messaging hasn't got through because that has been settled under the intentions document. So the Crown have actually identified who those people are. So I think this writing, or this terms that's there, would be appropriate. So I think we can add it in.
So is there anyone further from the Waikato Regional Council? Just okay.
okay, you happy with that? Yep.
And then the last point I wanted to raise, a point that has been left off, which is on page 182 of the draft, third bullet point. I raised the question as to whether we should be the only ones that ought to be carrying the total cost of that implementation.
Page 182.
182.
182, third bullet point down.
I'm not sure what we're...
I'm not sure what we're talking. No.
So
it reads, it implies that we, the council, will be liable for the total cost of implementation and carrying on the maintenance of that plan.
Can I ask where you were, Councillor? I think I'm a little bit...
With the policy.
182
Yep.
of the original draft document.
Oh. Right, this is what we haven't got.
sorry, can I just clarify?
Yeah.
The discussion that we had and the decision that we made was to add the word, I thought we were going to add council because I don't think council was in there to start with. We wanted to clarify that it was adjusting the council infrastructure cost.
Where are we? I think we're all sort of lost as to what we're doing.
Page 182 of the document we've got now?
No.
180. Okay, so ensure the results similar. So what did you want added in there, sorry?
Well, at the time I questioned whether we should be the only party held liable for the costs as it reads at the moment.
I'll take some advice on this. Is it, so it doesn't leave us exposed, is it? Or?
It looks as though it makes sense to me. I don't think it leaves us liable for costs solely. I think it's just a statement in relation to what council needs to do. So what council needs to do is we need to ensure that we do uphold those agreements in terms of what we are responsible for. So that's the way I would read it, in the way we always have to respond to different legislative
it won't
changes.
leave us open for carrying the can.
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, in that case, if that's how everyone else interprets it, I'm happy. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Kuczewski. Okay, so going through the minutes there again.
Chairman?
Councillor Boddy.
On 1.4, in regards to Vine Eatery, I made some comments in regards of having contact with Access Taupo representatives. I think there has been, but I'd just like an update. Have we sorted that issue out on the slope on those pavers that are going in?
Okay, who would that be? Mr. Ridd or Dennis?
It's going before Access Taupo tomorrow.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Councillor Hickling.
Just one minor adjustment, Your Worship, on page 1/8, Wairaki School, it's aquaponics, not hydroponics.
Aquaponics, okay. Is there a difference?
Yeah.
It is to the fish.
It is to the fish, yeah, because they live in water. Aqua, water.
Oh, that's
hydro, air.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Hickling. We'll get that adjusted. Any other? Councillor Jollins?
Thank you, Your Worship. Just on 1/5, in regard to the China visit, it's not captured in the notes, but I made a request if we could, on that chart that was put together, if we could seek some clarification on what the priorities were and put some timings behind that. I just think at the time I made the comment because I think it's important that we show what actions we'll be taking from these strategic alliances, and that's why I asked for priorities to be put in, and that's not been captured in the minutes whatsoever. So can I ask that they're added in?
Yeah, Samuel's not here, is he?
No, Chloe's not here, so we'll minute that and
we'll
get
minute
back
that,
to
we'll find out, yeah. Cool. Okay, any other points of clarification as arising from those minutes? If not, if I could ask for a mover of those minutes, be good. Thank you, Councillor Hickling, seconded by Councillor Boddy. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Those against? Carried. Item number 2. To receive the minutes the following meetings. Probably we could do these on block as well. So go to the first one, Southwestern Bay Settlement Reserve Management Plan Committee. Turangi-Tongariro, that doesn't sound right, does it? Tongariro. Yep. Tongariro, yep. Community Board meeting, Mangakino-Pouakani, and the Fences Roading Reserves Dog Committee. Okay, so we have, I think, Shaney, we've got a slight adjustment on one. I think the meeting Councillor John Boddy was at, that was at the 9th June meeting? TTCB meeting. Is that right, John?
Dates on the original minutes were wrong.
As well.
Corrected.
Yep. And date of the meeting will be changed to the 9th of June. Yep. So those first two there, thanks, Shani. Any other minutes, matters arising or clarification of the minutes?
Chairman, on the Southwestern Bays and 2/7, the car Esplanade, and maybe the staff have had answers. We had some discussions about some signage that was to go up to explain the history of the area. Has that sort of taken place yet? Or am I getting my page wrong?
Hillary.
We talked about a bit of a project on that reserve, about how we would investigate some different mechanisms about how to better reflect the cultural and historical values. That project will kick off following adoption of the plan. We haven't, at this stage, put up anything to do with the signage because there needs to be some further investigation about the history behind that and so on.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hillary. Any other? All pretty good?
27, I might have one, Your Worship.
Who's that, sorry?
2/27.
2/27.
3 if we're taking that one over. We're doing 3 as well, we're not, are we?
Yeah, we're doing the 4 lots of minutes.
Okay.
Need to specifically go through the recommendations.
And there's a recommendation there as well.
See, the recommendations have been pulled through to the front item, and you'll need to go through them one by one.
Okay. So go through, do you want the sets of minutes one by one?
You can do them on block, but
We'll do the minutes on block, so can we have a page
before you do that, you just need to talk through or have the chairs talk through those recommendations so that everyone's aware of those.
Okay, so do you want to do that now?
So I guess on page 2.
So, should we receive the minutes now, or what?
All you need to do, Mr. Chairman, is I guess it's usually the chair people of those meetings where appropriate would normally just outline the issues that have been recommended to the council, because in accepting these recommendations or these minutes, you're also accepting these recommendations. So you as a council need to be aware of and accepting of what's
We'll go to part 2 of the resolution then, and the recommendations to be adopted could perhaps have the chair of the South-Western Bay Settlement Reserve
Just need
Committee.
to draw the attention of the other councillors to those recommendations from the Fens Road in Reserves and Dog Committee, items number 3, number 1 and number 2. Just recommending that they be approved by this council, Your Worship.
Okay, thank you. That's the 2 and 3 of the number 2 in the resolution. What about number 1? South-Western Bay Settlement Reserve.
And number 1.
Are you happy with the recommendation there?
That's over the page, yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, just once again, I'm struggling to follow some of this. In the fences and dogs in the reserves, and another council maybe assist, there was something to do with confidential minutes. So this appeared to me to be the month before the last one we'd had. I just can't get my finger on it at the moment. I'm just wondering what those confidential minutes, was it to do with the banning of a dog owner?
I think it may be.
Was that coming in later in the...
And I think that's
in the
agenda.
It's a confidential part of the Fred Committee
Yeah.
in the minutes here. Okay. All right, so thank you, Mr. Chair, of those particular committees. So we go to item number 1 of the suggested recommended resolution there. So we have a move for those minutes. Please, thank you, Councillor Park, seconded by Councillor Stewart. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against? Carried. And part 2, the following recommendations be adopted. Could I have a mover for that? Those, Councillor Hickling, seconded by Councillor Park. All those in favour, please say aye. Those against? Carried. Item number 3.